Science Grade 5. Quarter 4 Module 3. Weather disturbances in the Philippines. After going through this module, you are expected to 1. Identify the different distinctive features of weather disturbances in the Philippines. 2. Describe the effects of the different weather disturbances on living thing and the environment, and 3. Compare and contrast the characteristics of typhoon and tornado. Read and answer the following questions. Write the letter of the correct answers on a separate sheet of paper. 1. What is a typhoon? A. It is the hotness and coldness of an object. B. It is a force exerted by air on a given area. C. It is a line connecting areas of equal atmospheric pressure. D. It is a weather disturbance with strong winds and abundant rain. 2. What is the source of energy for a tropical cyclone? A. Cold air. B. Air pressure. C. Strong wind. D. Water vapor. 3. Where do tropical cyclones usually originate? A. Cold region of a tropical ocean. B. Cold region of a tropical island. C. Warm region of a tropical ocean. D. Warm region of a tropical island. 4. What weather disturbance is characterized by sudden occurrences of rain accompanied by vivid flashes of lightning and burst of thunder? A. Monsoon. B. Storm. C. Thunderstorm. D. Tornado. 5. Which is a description given by PAGASA during public storm signal number 1? A. There is widespread damage to high-risk structures. B. Wind speed of 30 to 60 km/h may be expected in at least 36 hours. C. Classes in the elementary and high school level are automatically suspended. D. Moderate to heavy damage may be experienced particularly in the agricultural and industrial sector. 6. Which of the following hazards is not associated with typhoons? A. Earthquake. B. Flash flood. C. Storm surge. D. Strong winds. 7. What happens to tropical cyclones when they make landfall? A. They lose strength. B. They increase strength. C. They maintain strength. D. The air rotates in a different direction. 8. What kind of weather disturbance refers to a funnel-shaped low-pressure air mass that originates from the land and occasionally develops when there's a thunderstorm? A. Thunderstorms. B. Tornado. C. Tropical storm. D. Typhoon. 9. PAGASA has just raised typhoon signal number 2 in Nueva Ecija and nearby provinces. What does this mean? A. Winds up to 60 km/h may be expected in a locality. B. Winds from 61 to 121 km/h may be expected in at least 24 hours. C. Winds with a speed of greater than 115 km/h are expected to hit the locality in at least 18 hours. D. Winds with a speed of 100 to 185 km/h are expected in a locality in at least 18 hours. 10. Which of the following is the effect of very strong winds of public storm warning signal number 4 on the transportation system? A. Travels by air and sea are cancelled. B. Travel by sea is allowed but not on the air. C. Travel by air is allowed but not on the sea. D. It is safe to travel both by air and on the sea. Lesson 1. Weather disturbances in the Philippines. The Philippines experiences an average of 20 typhoons every year. Being surrounded by bodies of water makes us prone to experience some weather disturbances. The biggest contributor to the weather disturbances in our country is the Pacific Ocean, which lies on the eastern side of our country. The vast and warm waters of the ocean are capable of generating many weather disturbances. A typhoon is just one of the many weather disturbances we experience. It brings heavy rains, floods, and landslides. Can you name other weather disturbances? A. Write true if the statement is correct or false if it is not. Write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. 1. Soil erosion is the moving or carrying away of soil from one place to another. 2. The effects of erosion on plants would mean less food production. 3. If much of the topsoil is carried away by erosion, the soil can still support plant life. 4. Loose soil in a hilly or mountainous area when moved by strong wind and running water can lead to landslide. 5. When eroded, soil carries pollution causing chemicals into lakes and rivers. Fish and other creatures living in these places are killed. B. Match the items in column A with the words in column B. Write the letter of the correct answers on a separate sheet of paper. Column A. 6. It allows plants to grow naturally without human interference in a counterclockwise direction. 7. It allows farmers to plow across the slope to form ridges instead of plowing up and down. 8. It involves alternately planting different crops in strips. 9. It involves planting on terraces or steps built on slopes of mountainside. 10. It is another way of controlling soil erosion by building ripraps or chunks of stones or rocks arranged on the edge of a slope. Column B. A. Contour plowing. B. Crop rotation. C. Natural vegetation. D. Riprapping. E. Strip cropping. F. Terracing. Study the picture below. Guayaquil is reporting about Super Typhoon Yolanda, internationally known as Super Typhoon Haiyan, which hit the Philippines on November 8, 2013, with a category of typhoon warning signal number 5. Super Typhoon Yolanda has a maximum sustained wind of 315 km per hour, 195 miles per hour, and gusts reaching 380 km per hour, 235 miles per hour. Based on the weather report of Guayaquil, he said that weather disturbance was devastating. It took lives and damaged properties. Strong winds destroyed power and communication lines. Roads and bridges were also damaged due to heavy rainfall and flooding. It also destroyed means of livelihood in affected areas. Heavy rains and strong winds uprooted trees and destroyed the crops. Since crops were destroyed, food shortage was experienced by the affected areas. Answer the questions based on the weather report that you read. 1. What is the name of the super typhoon that hit the Philippines as reported by Guayaquil? 2. When did the super typhoon hit the Philippines? 3. Why was this typhoon classified as a super typhoon? 4. What were the effects of Typhoon Yolanda on the lives of the community? 5. What can you do to prepare and stay safe during a typhoon? Do you have any idea how typhoons are formed? What are its effects in our daily lives? A typhoon, which is also called a tropical cyclone, usually develops in a tropical region. It develops over the warm water in oceans and uses it as an energy source. The Philippines is located in this region and lies in the typhoon belt. This is the reason why the country often experiences different weather disturbances. It begins as a group of thunderstorms moving over tropical ocean waters that form in areas of low pressure. As water evaporates from the ocean, this makes the air very humid and helps transfer energy from the ocean water into the air. The energy makes warm air rises faster. As warm air rises, more air flows into the area where the air is rising, thus creating wind, cloud, rain, warm air, warm water. As the wind blows faster and faster from different directions around the pressure center, it builds up tall clouds that extend from near the ground up to the top of the troposphere. Large thunderstorms create an eye wall around the center where winds are the strongest and where the rain occurs. While strong winds spiral within the eye wall, wind in the eye itself is nearly calm and gentle. A typhoon maintains its strength as it stays above warm. Staying above the warm ocean water and with continuing favorable conditions for its buildup, a typhoon can grow bigger and more powerful. As soon as the typhoon moves over land or cooler water, the typhoon loses its source of energy. The wind loses strength and the storm eventually dies out. If a typhoon moves over land, the contour of the land reduces the wind even more. Furthermore, people are informed and given warnings and updates before the landfall of the typhoon, even before it enters the Philippines' area of responsibility. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration, PAGASA, is the main forecast center assigned to monitor all weather disturbances. Public Storm Warning Signals, PSWS. PAGASA issues announcements about incoming typhoons and their possible effects. The following storm warning signals describe the weather conditions and the precautionary measures that must be observed during the indicated weather disturbance. Public Storm Warning Signal Number 1. A tropical cyclone will affect the locality. Winds moving at the speed of 30 to 60 km per hour may be expected in at least 36 hours. Impacts of the wind. Twigs and branches of small trees may be broken. Some houses of very light materials may be partially unroofed. Rice crop may suffer significant damage when it is in the flowering stage. Precautionary measures. When the tropical cyclone intensifies and moves closer, this warning signal number may be upgraded. The waves on coastal waters may gradually develop and swell. The people are advised to listen to the latest severe weather bulletin issued by PAGASA every 6 hours. Classes in the pre-elementary are suspended. Business may be carried out as usual except when floods occur. Disaster preparedness units are activated to alert status. Public Storm Warning Signal Number 2. A tropical cyclone will affect the locality. Winds move at a speed of 61 to 120 km per hour may be expected in at least 24 hours. Impacts of the wind. Some coconut trees may be tilted with few others broken. Few big trees might be uprooted. Rice and corn may be adversely affected. Some old galvanized iron roofs might be removed or unroofed. Precautionary measures. The sea and coastal waters are dangerous to small sea craft. Special attention should be given to the latest position, direction and movement speed, and intensity of the storm as it moves toward an area. The public, especially people traveling by sea and air, are cautioned. Outdoor activities of children should be postponed. Secure properties before the signal is upgraded. Classes in the elementary and high school are automatically suspended. Disaster preparedness agencies, organizations are in action to alert their communities. Public Storm Warning Signal Number 3. Tropical cyclone will affect the locality. Winds move at a speed of 121 to 170 km per hour may be expected in at least 18 hours. Impacts of the wind. Many trees might be uprooted. Majority of all nipa and cogon houses may be unroofed or destroyed, and there may be considerable damage to structures of light and medium construction. There may be wide disruption of electrical power and communication services. Precautionary measures. The sea and coastal waters will be very dangerous to all sea crafts. Travel is very risky, especially by air and sea. People are advised to seek shelter in strong buildings, evacuate low-lying areas, and stay away from the coasts and riverbanks. Watch out for the passage of the eye of the typhoon indicated by a sudden occurrence of fair weather immediately after very bad weather, with very strong winds coming generally from the north. Classes in all levels should be suspended and children should stay in the safety of strong buildings. Public Storm Warning Signal Number 4. A tropical cyclone will affect the locality. Winds move at a speed of 171 to 220 km per hour may be expected in at least 12 hours. Impacts of the wind. Coconut plantations may suffer extensive damage. Many large trees may be uprooted. Rice and corn plantation may suffer severe damages. Electrical power distribution and communication services may be severely disrupted. Precautionary measures. The situation is potentially very destructive to the community. All travels and outdoor activities should be cancelled. Evacuation to safer shelter should have been completed. The area is very likely to be hit directly by the eye of the typhoon. Classes in all levels and government offices are suspended. Public storm warning signal number 5. A super typhoon will affect the locality. Winds moving at a speed of 220 km per hour or above may be expected in at least 12 hours. Impacts of the wind. Extreme damage to high-risk structures. Complete roof collapse on many residences and industrial buildings. Electrical power distribution and communication services are severely disrupted. Precautionary measures. The situation is potentially extremely destructive to the community. All travels and outdoor activities should be cancelled. Evacuation to safer shelter should have been completed since it may have been too late for this situation. The area is very likely to be hit directly by the eye of the typhoon. Classes in all levels and government offices are suspended and people are advised to take extra precautionary measures. Other types of weather disturbances. Aside from typhoons, there are other types of weather disturbances that are of major concerns for us. Thunderstorms. Thunderstorms are local weather disturbances that occur frequently in summer. They are characterized by sudden occurrences of rain accompanied by vivid flashes of lightning and bursts of thunder. A thunderstorm is the most common type of weather disturbance that is experienced in the country. Tornadoes. A tornado is a destructive, rotating column of air that has very high wind speeds and that is sometimes visible as a funnel-shaped cloud. A tornado forms when a thunderstorm meets horizontal winds at a high altitude. These winds cause the warm air rising in the thunderstorm to spin. When you see clouds that begin to rotate, it signals that a tornado is forming. See monsoons. Much of the rainfalls in the Philippines are due to the southwest monsoon and the northeast monsoon. Monsoons are a wind system resulting from the temperature and pressure differences between continents and oceans. The two monsoons are southwest monsoon or habagat felt during the month of June and October and the northeast monsoon or amine experienced from November to February. The Intertropical Convergence Zone, ITCZ. Intertropical Convergence Zone, ITCZ, is the meeting place of hot and cold trade winds in the northern and southern hemisphere. The weather system may trigger rain showers, even flash floods in affected areas. Effects of weather disturbances to the lives of the people. Typhoons have destructive effects to the daily lives and to the community. The following are some of the effects of typhoons in the daily lives of people. Typhoon can mobilize rescue and medical aids due to roads that are not passable. The source of income of farmers will be affected due to damaged crops, which can result to financial crisis and difficulty in feeding their families. It would take longer time to travel from one place to another if some of the roads were impassable due to damage caused by typhoons. There might be food shortage because of damaged crops. Due to shortage, price of vegetables and even meat might increase. Activity 1. A. Identify the types of weather disturbances being described in the given sentences. Choose the correct answer from the choices in the box. Write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. Monsoons. Thunderstorms. Tornado. Typhoon. Intertropical Convergence Zone. 1. It refers to a funnel-shaped low-pressure air mass that originates from the land. 2. These are the wind system resulting from the temperature and pressure differences between continents and oceans. 3. It is characterized by sudden occurrences of rain accompanied by vivid flashes, lightning and burst of thunder. 4. It is an intense tropical cyclone with a maximum wind speed of 118 to 220 km/h and accompanied by heavy rains and strong winds. 5. It is the meeting place of hot and cold trade winds in the northern and southern hemisphere, which the weather system may trigger rain showers, even flash floods in affected area. B. Supply the missing letters to complete the words being described. Write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. 6. Localized storm cloud that produces thunder and lightning. 7. It is a whirling, funnel-shaped windstorm. It develops in low, heavy cumulonimbus clouds. 8. It is a low-pressure area that forms in the tropics over the seas and oceans. 9. These are the wind system resulting from the temperature and pressure differences between continents and oceans. 10. It is a belt of low pressure which circles the Earth generally near the equator, where the trade winds of the northern and southern hemisphere comes together. Activity 2. Write true if the statement is correct or false if is not. Write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. 1. Whether disturbances refer to any disruption of the atmosphere's stable condition. 2. A monsoon is a seasonal flow of winds between the northern and southern hemisphere. 3. A tornado is a destructive, rotating column of air that has very high wind speeds and that is sometimes visible as a funnel-shaped cloud. 4. With public storm warning signal number 4, very strong winds of 171 to 220 km/h may be expected in at least 8 hours. 5. Large thunderstorms create an eye wall around the center where winds are the strongest and rains occur. 6. In public storm warning signal number 2, classes in all levels are automatically suspended. 7. Thunderstorm is a small-scale weather system in which lightning and thunder are produced by a funnel-shaped cumulonimbus cloud. 8. The destructive effects of typhoon are heavy rains, floods, flash floods, and destruction of properties. 9. PAGASA keeps track of cyclones that enter the Philippine area of responsibility. 10. The source of income of farmers will be affected due to damaged crops, which can result to financial crisis and difficulty in feeding their families. Activity 3. Compare and contrast the characteristics that are shared by the typhoon and the tornado using the Venn diagram. Draw the diagram with your answers on a separate sheet of paper. Typhoon. Tornado. Complete the statement below by choosing the correct answers from the given choices in the box. Write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. Counterclockwise. Monsoons. Destruction of properties. Thunderstorm. Flash floods. Tornado. Intertropical Convergence Zone. Tropical cyclone. Landslides. Typhoon. I have learned that the different weather disturbances in the Philippines include 1 blank, 2 blank, 3 blank, 4 blank, and 5 blank. I also learned that a tropical cyclone is a weather disturbance characterized by a large whirling mass of air moving in a 6 blank direction. A tropical cyclone with maximum sustained surface winds of less than 62 km/h is called tropical depression. When the wind reaches 63 to 117 km/h, it becomes a tropical storm. When the wind reaches more than 118 km/h and above, it becomes a 7 blank. Lastly, I was able to identify the destructive effects of typhoon, which include floods, 8 blank, erosion, 9 blank, and 10 blank. To minimize the destructive effects of the typhoon, we must be alert to typhoon signals and observe the necessary precautions. Draw a concept map about the effects of super typhoon in a community on a separate sheet of paper. Effects of super typhoon. Public storm warning signal number 5. Read and answer the following questions. Write the letter of the correct answers on a separate sheet of paper. 1. What is a tropical cyclone? A. It is the most violent storm. B. It has the lowest atmospheric temperature. C. It produces whirling winds and continuous rain. D. It has a wind speed of less than 60 km per hour. 2. Where are typhoons usually formed? A. Over cold oceans. B. Over warm oceans. C. Over cold continents. D. Over warm continents. 3. Which is not a characteristic of a tropical cyclone? A. Its eye is very destructive. B. It dies over a cold and dry region. C. Its center has a very low pressure area. D. Its surrounding has a very high pressure area. 4. What type of weather disturbance is an intense local storm that brings strong winds, heavy rain, lightning, thunder, and sometimes hail? A. Thunderstorms. B. Storm surge. C. Tornado. D. Tropical cyclone. 5. What do you call a weather disturbance with violent, rotating winds, and the winds spiral around a low-pressure region? A. Hurricane. B. Storm surge. C. Tornadoes. D. Typhoon. 6. Which of the following is the effect of public storm warning signal number 3 in the locality? A. Many coconut trees may be broken or uprooted. B. There may be widespread disruption of electrical power and communication services. C. Moderate to heavy damage may be experienced particularly in the agricultural land and industrial sectors. D. All of the above. 7. What is the public storm warning signal number that means that the typhoon has a wind speed of 121 to 170 km/h? A. Public storm warning signal number 1. B. Public storm warning signal number 2. C. Public storm warning signal number 3. D. Public storm warning signal number 4. 8. Which of the following is the effect of a super typhoon in a community? A. Few big trees may be uprooted. B. Some banana plants may be tilted. C. Rice and corn may be adversely affected. D. Electrical power distribution and communication services may be severely disrupted. 9. What should you do to minimize the destructive effects of an upcoming typhoon? A. Be calm and ignore the news. B. Always stay at home and sleep well. C. Do not read a newspaper for the latest weather reports. D. We must be alert to typhoon signals and observe the necessary precaution. 10. Which is the only positive outcome of typhoons? A. It caused flooding. B. It removes trash from rivers. C. It removes pollutants from the air. D. It fills up dams and replenishes the water supply. Option 1. Activity for learners with internet connection. Use the internet to search on a news article that shows resiliency of Filipinos during typhoons. Write a reflection about the news article on a separate sheet of paper. Option 2. Activity for learners without internet connection. Write ways on how you can extend help to the victims of the typhoon. Do this on a separate sheet of paper. Rubric for the activities.